Welcome, fair people of YouTube. Today I bring you the second episode of the card review of Tempest of the Gods, the newest expansion that will be coming to Shadowverse very soon. Today with me is the one and only captain of the Manasurge team, who is also classified for the EXG Grand Tournament, Red.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, so how are you today, Red? I hope you're
Pretty good,
fine.
man. Yeah, just finished the exhibition match. Really fun. And can't wait to review some cards.
We actually finished the exhibition match just right now. I will probably be uploading that to YouTube. I will ask for permission of the other people first, but we'll probably end up uploading that. But we are not for it today here. We are here to talk about new cards. So we have, just like the last episode, we have prepared 8 cards. And let's jump right into the commons and uncommons. First up, Baphomet. So it's a 2-mana 2/1 for Bloodcraft that from Fanfare puts a random Bloodcraft follower with at least 5 attack from your deck into your hand, and if you play it on 5 mana, you actually subtract 3 from the cost of this card. So Red, I'll let you begin on this one. What do you think?
This card is going to make the combo blood dream come true. When I first saw this card, I instantly looked and I said, what 5 attack minions are there? Blood has a lot of amazing board attack and minions that we want to play in like these control style lists. We got Queen Vampire, Matriarch, all that. The only good one is Tempest. And because this only pulls Bloodcraft ones, if you want, you can run this thing and have Bahamut's in it and make sure it still tutors out anything you want specifically.
Just like
It's amazing. Exactly. But there's a combo potential with Azazel, where you pull him with the Enhance effect, it makes Azazel into 5 mana. So you play him, Dark Commander Laura, because she will, Demon Commander Laura, that's 7 damage with Storm, and then you raise Reclaw, and that is OTK. This card's amazing for that, and Control Blood has all the tools to make this type of combo happen. So I'm really excited for this card, because it's going to make OTK Blood possibly a tier 1 worthy deck.
Yeah, and actually that's not really a hard combo to do. You basically need to draw 2 cards, and you have Dire Bond, you have Blood Pact, you have the Warfin that you actually won't be playing because he's at 5 attacks, so I don't think you will see that in play. But yeah, and you get your Azazel from a fetch, so that's amazing. So what do you think? How that list would look like? What cards would you play here?
I think that you just play the normal Control Blood list, except that you probably cut the Bahamut's, to be honest, because you want to just OTK. You don't care about that Bahamut board clear. So you just cut the Bahamut's, and you cut the Temptress, and you just run this guy. You run, did you already review Spider Webbin,
yes,
the 2-mana 1/4? Yeah, you run that as well, because it helps against the aggro decks. And you just pretty much play the normal Control Blood that's out there right now, with Hungering Hordes, Vampire Kiss, all that, and you just try to draw into Baphomet, your Razor Claw, and Laura, and then tutor out your Azazels, and you just run 3 Azazels, 3 Baphomet, and that, like, right there, there's already theory crafting in Japan stuff. They're just already starting, because that's a list that a lot of people think is just going to work great.
So, do you think you would actually run 3 Azazels, not just 2?
You want to run 3, because it's kind of like, it's kind of like when you want to tutor stuff out with the subtract effects, you want to have more control over it. You don't want to... If you run 1, if you draw it, that's game over. You lose instantly. So you don't run 1. 2 is like... Some people have been debating it, but at the same time, your Control Blood... I mean, if you're running a list where you cut Temptress, you cut Bahamut, what are you going to brick on, right? Azazel's, like, not bad. He's, like, the only card that technically, quote-unquote, bricks your hand. So I think it's fine if you run 3. Like, there's no reason not to. And at worst, he's a heal against aggro decks. So yeah, I think there's no reason not to run him at 3.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you have this opinion, because I have actually been looking for a person to agree on me on this, as I am actually running 3 Silver Bolts in my Bolt Wolf. And,
same here.
Yeah, and exactly, and my team is kind of saying me I am doing it wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people run 2, but I think it's that theory where... I think of it as every combo deck, your main combo piece should be 3 up, even if there's a chance that it bricks you.
Yeah.
It would suck if you draw into both your Silver Bolts naturally.
Exactly, I agree with you so much.
Yeah. So there's a higher chance that you ruin your combo than you do actually bricking yourself.
Yeah. Alright, so that will be it for the card. Next up, Goblin Princess. So this is a 5 mana 2/1 for neutral that summons a lot of goblins. From Fanfare you will get 2 goblins, which are the standard goblins, 1 mana 1/2. And from Last Words you will get a Goblin King, which is actually a 4 mana 5/5 with Ward. So let me begin on this one. I think the card is great at Arena. And I think the card is maybe even good enough for Constructed. Because if you look at this, like, your entire body is 5 mana, 2/1, 1/2 and 1/2. So that's altogether 4/5 of stats. So this is standard, right? 5 mana, 4/5. And the Goblin King is the additional bonus that kind of pays you back on the fact that your board that you summon for the 5 mana is really low health and really vulnerable to the AoE effects like Ancient Lion Spirit. Ancient Lion Spirit kind of wrecks it. Yeah, Will of the Forest wrecks it. I mean, Will of the Forest would wreck the 4/5 in the same way, but if you have more on the board, then you kind of have more chances. But I think this is a pretty good card because you actually get 5 mana good enough value, especially in the flat decks like Sword with maybe Rousing Step, who knows? Maybe
Wind God
will make a comeback. Yeah, Wind God, why not?
Japanese love their Wind God.
Yeah, and also the Captain Wilfred, or however it's called, that we'll be talking about later in this video. And yeah, and you get a draw basically. You get a turn 6 play. You can play Goblin King together with a 2-drop. Maybe some 2-drop that you would like to protect, like maybe Fervid Soldier, because you get a 5/5 war with that. So yeah, any counter argument threat? What do you have to say about this card?
To be honest, this card, I think constructed wise, it's not going to see much play.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's just not good enough. There's so much stuff that you would rather play on 5 in the decks that you want to play this on 5. I think in Arena, though, this card is absolutely insane. Just like how Kaiza has absolutely owned Arena. If you guys know that, a very powerful auto pick almost, unless it's paired with something terrible in Take 2.
Wait, Kaiza?
The reason for the
Kaiza?
Kaiza, the Gourmet Emperor Kaiza, that gets the carrot, the infinite carrot.
Guy.
Yeah. The reason why is value is absolutely insane in Arena. And this card has everything about it. You get nice stats, and it's across bodies, which is super important in Arena, because you're going to want to get those value trades. And having a 4 mana 5/5 after it dies, and this card's going to die. Like, it's a 2/1. It's going to be the first thing that dies compared to the goblins. You're going to get great value, and it's a ward body. It can protect stuff. I think this card's absolutely tier 1, like you almost auto-pick it in Arena. Yeah. And constructed-wise, though, it could see play in some decks. I think people will experiment with it. It does have potential, like you said. I think Japanese will definitely want to run it in some sort of mid-range sword list that tries to curve out, and instead, because mid-range sword doesn't really have that good of a 5-drop other than maybe like Wind God, but this card helps your Wind God value. You can play this into Sage Commander on curve, so there's that. So it does have some potential, but I just think it's not good enough in the decks that would run it, because I think there's just better cards to play.
And in Constructed there is much more AoE than in the Arena.
Yeah, exactly.
So also Goblin Princess is right before the turn of the Ancient Lion Spirit, which will definitely stick into the game. So yeah,
and
kind of hard.
Themis.
Yeah, Themis.
Yeah, there's also
depending if you go first or second.
Yeah, there's Themis. There's Breath of the Salamander. Pretty much every class has some sort of way to deal with it. It's kind of like in the same skill as Otahime, why it's kind of rotated out.
Yeah. So if we see this card being played, that means Otohime will make a comeback. Because they are basically weak to the same things. And we'll probably see them in the same deck. Something like a flat sword.
Zeus Sword. Woo!
Zeus Sword. Yeah, Zeus may actually see some play in Control Sword, but we already talked about Zeus. Alright, so that should be it for the card. I think we covered pretty much everything. I mean, how do you like the art? Because a lot of people say that Goblin Princess is actually this goblin right here. In the
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
But I do like how they have that little art there. That's pretty iconic. But the princess, pretty cute. I like how they're continuing on the neutral type of theme with the goblins. Really cool. The art's nice. It's simple. It reminds me of Grand Blue Fantasy type of style, so I really like it.
It's actually from the Grand Blue Fantasy.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't really play the games or stuff yet.
Right.
I need to, but yeah.
So next up, Pussworm. So this is a 5 mana 4/5, pretty standard stat line for Dragoncraft. At the end of your turn, randomly discard one of the lowest class cards in your hand and gain +2/+2. Evolution doesn't really bring anything new, just +2/+2. So Red, do you think that this makes Discard Dragon it boosts its power in any way?
Absolutely not. There's no point running this card over the Angel Crusher. It's just worse. I don't think Discard Dragon's gonna make a comeback or anything like that because of this card.
Yeah.
Though in Arena, this card is it's juicy.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it for Discard Dragon?
For Discard Dragon? Not really my thing. I mean, if the art was cool at least, but I don't even know what this art is like. Is this a little dragon with little bottle, or is it a huge dragon with huge bottle?
It's a venomous pussworm. What else could it be? It's a venomous dragon that spews puss. I mean, that's fine. That's a part of the dragons. I don't know. I may be a Dragoncraft expert, but I'm not a dragon expert.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, for this card's arena-wise, absolutely insane. I mean, you play this card and it instantly, because it gets its effect at the end of the turn, it is a 6/5. It is a 6/7 for 5 mana. How better can that get? I mean, this card could even be seen in maybe mid-range, aggressive mid-range dragons. I don't know. I don't think this card's going to be anything in Discard Dragon, but it's a good card, I think, individually. I think this card, a lot of people aren't really looking at it, but it has potential. Arena-wise, absolutely insane. You ought to pick this card. Unless, it's paired with something bad, but
also,
oh my lord, this card.
If I read the effect right, because it should work the same way as the Gold Vault, how is it called? The Golden Dragon Den, I believe, so something like that. The 2 mana amulet for Dragon works. It's worded the same way, so if you actually are empty-handed, it will gain +2/+2 for free.
Yeah. So that's really good. I mean, this card's pretty good. I think if there's a mid-rangey aggressive dragon that pops up ever, this card will see play in it. And it's a really good card by itself. I mean, if Discard Dragon ends up becoming meta for some odd reason, this card will definitely see play in it. I mean, it pulls out Lux Fangs for free as well, potentially. With Dracomancer's Right, it draws you a card as well as becomes a overstated minion for 5 mana. It's not bad individually. I just don't know the deck that you would play it in where it can work.
Like the Discord Dragon? I mean, I've seen the only thing that really relies on Discord right now is the aggro deck that plays this, this powerhouse discard cards like the Griffin Knight, the Dragonite Fist, and you play just the Kins in it, the Kids, the 2/1 that gets discarded and that's summoned. And that's just like it. You just, you get powerful effects and additionally you get the 2/1 for free. But that doesn't really help your hand size.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I don't personally like that version of the discard aggro dragon. I feel like it just runs out of steam too quickly, and it doesn't. And Luxfang Kit just isn't strong enough to finish off the opponent for that resource that you're losing potentially if you don't get it off the Griffin Knight or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But we also get new amulet that we'll be not talking about in this video, but quickly what it does is, I believe Dragon Nest it's called, and it's 1 mana amulet that draws you a card and heals you for 2 at the end of the turn, and it doesn't have a countdown, but if you are on overflow, the amulet will get destroyed by the end of the turn.
Oh yeah, that card's absolutely insane. I hope you have me as a guest on that one, because I'm going to talk about how much that card can do for you.
Yeah, I agree with you, but do you think that maybe with it Discard Dragon could get some help? Because this really helps Discard Dragon, especially the aggro variant.
I mean, my question for you is, with all the cards that we're seeing, why would you play discard dragon over the normal dragon that's already doing well?
Because you love memes.
Yeah, if you love memes and you want to play discard dragon, you definitely want to put this card in that deck. But I don't think this card will see play competitively.
Alright, unless it's a meme tournament like Shadow Nexus has done recently.
Exactly, yeah. If it's don't let your memes be dreams, that's when this card will see play.
Right, so overall good card, but has no place in the current meta.
Yeah, exactly.
And probably will not have a place in the future meta.
One day, when Discard Dragon is tier 1, that will be the best meta. I don't think anyone will complain.
Yeah, when we get a card like 20 mana, if you discard this card, you win the game, or something like that.
Exactly, the Discard Seraph.
Discard Seraph. Or if you discard this card 3 times, 20 mana, if you discard this card 3 times, you win the game. So you have to play 3 copies and discard them all.
You just only run discard cards, and you just draw. You play through those. Play like the Dragon Nest, and you just draw constantly, and then you're just like discard.
Yeah, that would be made to OP because Alter Fate is a thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Also looking at the card mechanics that discard the lowest mana cost and make it 20, but then again Angel Crusher and Alter Fate are a thing, so that would not.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen, but just plenty to think about.
Yeah, just to have fun around with cards. Alright, so that's it for this card. The next card we have is Hollow Golem. So this is a 4 mana 4/3. We don't see a lot of them, and when we do, they don't really see play because 3 drops trade up for them. But this Aura Golem is for Runecraft, Hollow Golem, and has Earthright, deal 3 damage to an enemy. So this can go face. Red, do you think we can see some Burn Mage?
I'm thinking just tempo Earthright, Like, this is exactly what Earthright needed. They needed some removal, not more Guardian Golems, like freaking Remy Ram. That's why it's rotated out, because it's just too slow. This is a proactive card in a meta that's asking for proactiveness. Your 4-drop has to be proactive, not defensive. That's why some decks are cutting Floral Fencer, because they're not proactive, they're reactive, and they're not just fast enough. This card is perfect, and it's 3 damage reach for Earthright. One thing Earthright struggles with is closing up games. There you go. They can start pushing and having this tempo variant of them. I'm very excited to see this card.
Yeah, and I look at it the other way, because I used to play Magic the Gathering, and I used to play Eternal, and I always go for the decks that have a lot of control and basically win with spells. This is my playstyle. I just love spells. And this Hollow Golem may actually enable the... We actually see a lot of cards that may enable the Burn Mage, the Burn Rune, with Levi, Disaster Witch, with Magic Missile face, Angelic Snipe face, Angelic Barrage even, I don't care. Piercing Rune is good for this deck, Demonic Strike, and you just burn your opponent's face. The only problem with this kind of deck is that it really is countered by heal heavily, because Cygames doesn't really support this kind of playstyle. They want you to win with OTKs or with minions. And yeah, adding Earthright to this deck doesn't really help too much. I could see being played with some Teaching of Creation, some draw on your Earthright, and then this for additional 3 damage phase. And we also see the Mutagenic Bolt that we already talked about, and that is even 5 damage to the face while you remove your opponent's board. You can also combo that with Angelic Barrage to clear your opponent's board for 9 mana. I think this kind of deck might even see play. I will be definitely working for that. And will you be working on your Earthright, Red?
To be honest, I actually was just thinking, what if you play Earthright D-Shift? Like you played, and a lot of people have been testing this.
Yeah,
it's like with Commence. Yeah, with Commence Experiment, because it's another 1 mana, technically 1 mana spell boost, get an Earthright. Dwarf Alchemist to search out cards, Veteran Alchemist for the heal. What if you cut your Veteran Alchemist and instead run this so you can fight for board? Right? Because it's technically the same thing, but it ends up healing you more against the aggro decks in the long term. because you deal the 3 damage, so you're removing bodies that are going to end up equaling more damage compared to if you heal 5 Evo, kill 1 minion, you're killing 2. So instead of healing for 5, you end up healing you take both their damages and you add them up times 1 by 2. It's a lot of maths, but the point is this card can end up removing more damage in the long run compared to Veteran Alchemist.
Yeah, I think it depends. Well, versus mid-range meta, this card is definitely better than Veteran Alchemist, but versus pure aggro that plays a lot of 1-2s and 2-2s, I think Veteran Alchemist is still better.
Yeah, but considering the cards that we're seeing, I think this card could potentially see play in anti-aggressive mid-range list decks for D-Shift that are trying to... Sorry, go ahead.
Also, D-Shift with Airfrights can play Pascal.
Yeah, that's true. Just for a bit of tip of the iceberg, play that, get 10 damage burst out of nowhere.
You don't even need your Flame Destroyers, you need only D-Shift, Oglers, and Pascal.
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting. I think this card has a lot of potential. The question is, it's a card that depends on the meta. If the meta calls for it, it's going to be one of the best cards in the meta for Rune. If the meta's too fast for it, then it probably won't see any play. Rune is helpless in Arena, so it's not much point talking about it, but this does technically help them.
I disagree. I think Rune is great in Arena. Actually, statistically, Rune has the most 5-0 wins in Arena from all the classes.
Because people love their memes. They will do anything for their memes. But I don't know. I would like to fight that statistic. I mean, Sword. You're really comparing it to Sword.
Sword has the most general wins, but Sword usually goes for 1. If you want a lot of wins in the long run, for example you have 20 tickets, if you pick Sword every time, you will definitely earn more gold than if you pick Runecraft every single time. But if you are aiming for the 5-0 achievement, you are the best of picking Runecraft statistically.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Runecraft also, because Runecraft depends very heavily on your Airfrights. Airfrights in Runecraft are crazy on Arena. And if you get 10 Sigils, Ancient Alchemist, you have 5-0 guaranteed. But if you get 2 Sigils and 2 Airfrights, you are looking at a very bad deck that will probably go 0-5. So yeah, it's a very, edgy matchup.
Either way, this card's good. I think it's one of those cards that can fit really well into the meta, and it just really depends how things shape up. We won't know until we get to actually play this card. It's one of those cards,
Yeah. I will definitely test it in the Burn Mage. This is my dream.
Yeah, can't wait.
Alright, so the next up we have Fairy Cage. So, Red, let's talk about how bad this card is.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun. Oh yeah, okay. You want to do one back to forth? We each say how bad this card is? You want to do one of those? Where I go, it stops this, and then you go, it ruins this.
Alright, let's do it.
Okay. It ruins space for your Cristelia Tia.
It will basically never give you a fairy because you will usually have one in hand.
You already have enough fairy generation. Why are you ever going to need one single fairy every once in a million moons?
It costs 4 mana, so it ruins your EPM, it ruins your UL, even Rose Gardener in the slower meta.
If this card becomes meta, I don't know why people are playing this over Harvest Festival.
If this card becomes meta, I think I'm uninstalling Shadowverse.
I agree with that, but also, no 6/7 Ancient Elf, what are you doing with your life?
Right, I think we are done here. This card is
terrible. There's too much. We
can also talk about how bad this card is on Arena.
It's just bad. Why would you ever play this?
Yeah, we can actually add 1 point to it. This card is gold. It ruins your Arena picks.
That's true. Forest is already a tier 2 Arena thing. It's edgy. But this doesn't help it. Oh god, this is a terrible card in every single way.
Yeah, I think
this is how you bounce first.
If only this Fairy Cage was giving you a 0 mana fairies.
Yeah, then it would be it wouldn't be absolutely unplayable by a million years, never gonna see play. But then it would be it's still bad.
Yeah, I mean, There is actually, if it was a 0 mana fairies, then you could play the Elf of the Gemstones. Like, you play Fairy Cage on 4, you play Elf of the Gemstones on 5, you get a 0 mana fairy, you play a 0 mana fairy, you get a 0 mana fairy, and you basically have infinite rushing fairies. And then you can play Roach after that. But this will never happen because this is basically full board kill. It's like playing Bahamut into 10-10 Roach. I mean 10-1. Yeah, it's not really balanced. So yeah.
Can we just agree that if you get this card, it's an instant disenchant? Like, you just vials for days. You just like, thanks. Easy vials.
I mean, I like the art, but I don't think I like the art enough to not vial it.
Yeah, I think that if the Japanese make another one of those what to vial first list, like they did with Rage of Bahamut, this is going to be the first card on the list.
Yeah, probably in a caps lock.
Yeah, if you get this, burn it.
And uninstall just in case.
Exactly.
So it doesn't stick to your account. You can,
just
reinstall the game. Reset your PC, just in case. Right.
Make sure it wasn't just a dream.
Yeah, pinch yourself. Or even hit your head against the wall. That is, better. Alright, so next card that is not that bad is Captain Wolfried. So this is an 8 mana commander that its statline is 5/5. He has a sick, some kind of flying ship behind it. I guess this is the Grand Blue Fantasy, so you can expect that. And he gives on fanfare +2/+2 to all other allied followers, and also your officers get ward. So it's pretty much Sage Commander on crack. It's like Sage Commander and Rousing Step and the Navi, how is it called? The Navi Officer, I believe, in one card.
Yeah, it looks really powerful. The thing is, though, is it too costly? I mean, there's another card that reduces commanders by 1, so it's if it becomes popular, then it's technically a 7 mana 5/5. Give everything +2/+2,
and that is really sick with Otohime.
Yeah, exactly. Mostly because it would curve out, right? Because Otohime is 6, so you go 6. So instead of wasting 1 mana on Sage Commander, it's a better Sage Commander in that sense.
Yeah, I guess if we actually don't have that legendary in this video, but the legendary is basically Gawain of the Round Table. He's 4 mana 3/4 command officer actually for Swordcraft. That whenever he attacks, he subtracts 1 from the cost of each commander in your hand, and if you give it, if you enchant it for 6 mana, you basically give it +1/+1 and rush, so the mini evolve.
Oh, can I just point out a sick combo?
Yes.
You can go, you play it on 4. If you go second, you play it on 4. Evo, attack, Otohime on 5. Sage Commander, Captain of the Wellfreed.
The plan is real.
If that happens, I think your opponent just concedes.
Also, if you go second, your opponent, your opponent can temize that, I guess, the Otohime. So the answer on Otohime will be there.
But I mean, still, that's it's a possibility. So this card isn't super bad, it isn't too slow, but we'll have to see like what cards end up in Swordcraft. I feel like this card, on paper, it looks too slow, but it does have a lot of potential.
Yeah, you can also fetch it with Mage Leader, because it's a commander, but that doesn't really change much. The thing is, you can play this without officers, because there is the Tristan of the Round Table and stuff like that. There is this new amulet that whenever you play commander, you will deal damage to your opponent's face equal to the attack of that commander. And I kind of think we can have the all commanders deck.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Commander Craft, just play that. And like I said, with the Goblin of the Round Table, you play that as well, reduce these commanders and you play them all. You're pretty much reducing these guys. Like, this card, I think, in that deck, if it is good enough, this card will be in that deck, and it could be competitive.
Yeah. It really depends, because amulets have this tendency that they don't do really anything when you play them, so amulets for 5 mana are kind of slow, right? Exception is the dragon that actually used to play the polyphonic roar, and they now used to play the Dragon Claw Pendant for 5 mana, But that's because they have ramp, they have cost reduction, and they can afford that generally.
Yeah. I don't know if Sword can afford this, but we'll have to see. It can have potential if Otahime comes back, but there's so much to answer Otahime instantly. We'll just have to see. It's a card that depends on what Sword's playing. Sword is mostly with stuff like Albert and whatnot that we've seen right now. They're very fast. They want to end the game before turn 9 if possible. And by turn 7 up, you're only playing Alberts or Alwildas or stuff that are proactive. I don't think this card is proactive enough in that sense. It doesn't instantly deal damage.
Yeah, we are
at least
now
in the decks that we see right now.
We are now in this weird spot whenever you play Runecraft or Swordcraft, you have to answer one question: is it better than the meta decks? And the answer is usually no. So, yeah, if you like memes, you can definitely play. I will definitely play the old Commander Craft.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to play it. I think this card's going to be something that a lot of people are going to test with, and I think it's worth the time. It's insane. I love it. I like the card. I like the art. I like the effect. I like everything about it. So I hope it's good, personally. But at the same time, I don't want it to be good, because if it is good, it's too good. Because it has a really powerful effect.
Yeah. Alright, so with that said, I think we can move on to the next card, which is Demon Lord Ichtar. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So this is a 7 mana 5/6 for Shadowcraft that from Necromancy 3 will summon a zombie. You can notice how this is Necromancy 3. We don't have Necromancy 3 till now. And summon a zombie is usually Necromancy 4 or 2, depending on if it's last word or is it, effect on spell or something. And you basically repeat this Necromancy for all your remaining shadows or until your area is full. So up to 12 shadows can be spent on that. After that, you give all allied followers +2/+2 and rush all other allied followers. So he himself is not 7/6 with rush. So what do you think, Red?
This card's going to bring back mid-range Shadow. We've already seen mid-range Shadow do pretty decently. Ganger's been testing it. Luca's been testing it. Very good players have been testing it, and it's doing well. But the thing is, Lord of the Flies just isn't good enough. And 7-drop for mid-range, that's the key spot. If you play something then, in the late game, it has to be powerful. And this card meets those conditions. It is consistent. It is pretty much in every single way, this is better than Lord of the Flies. It's proactive. It has a pretty decently statted body. 1 mana understated, but you get the zombie. So it's and the zombie is you're pretty much always going to have 3 necromancy. That's an easy. That's a 4/0 rush with Bane. 4/0 rush. Sorry, not with Bane, which is going to clear pretty much anything you want. It's going to allow you to do.
4/0 rush would die instantly. I think this is a 4/2 rush.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, 4/2 rush. But yeah, you suicide that into whatever. And also, you probably played this after Death's Breath as well. And so you can do that into this, and that's going to give all your zombies this insane amount of damage. It's a really powerful card. It curves out perfectly, and it's exactly what mid-range Shadow needs if it's going to become a competitive staple deck in this environment.
I'm gonna definitely try a full zombie deck, the amulet that performs necromancy for summon a zombie at the end of the turn, the Death's Breath, even the Novice Necromancer, or however is she called, the 3 mana 2/3
the
that
2/3
zombie, yeah, and a lot of other stuff like Death's Breath, like the Buccaneer zombie. Yeah, there are some pretty cool cards.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and I think this card. If Shadow becomes competitive, you'll probably see this card. It is on the same level as Blood Hungry Matriarch, and we see the play of that all the time. So I think this card can make mid-range Shadow and control Shadow a very, very competitively viable and possibly tier 1, tier 2 status deck. I love this card to bits.
Just because the necromancy is really controversial mechanic, because you kind of need to lose your board to gain it. Even the shadow generation, it's not evolve, it's not fanfare usually. The best shadow generation is always from dying, always from last words. So yeah, you kind of have to self-kill your board, but then again, if this basically summons you zombies for only 2 necromancy, because every zombie that dies gives you back 1 shadow, right?
Yeah.
And the beautiful part about this card is that if you summon only 1 zombie, it's already valuable enough. You already met the mana efficiency.
Exactly. And then also the fact that it curves out after Death's Breath is so important. Because that means that if any of those guys lived, you overvalued this guy.
Yeah.
It's super hard not to get good enough value from this guy. It will be very, very rare. And you're probably going to lose that match regardless if that situation comes down. So don't feel too bad. This card is insane. It's insane in Arena. It is insane in Constructed. It will see play. And I think if you're a Shadow main, you craft this card instantly. It's so good.
Speaking of Arena, I think this card is probably the top tier legendary in Arena. Like, I don't know if I would pick it over Olivia, but I would definitely pick it over the Lord of the Flies, even though he's the Lord of the Value in Arena. If Lord of the Flies lives 1 turn, you usually win the game. But I think this card is better, mainly because you cannot pick consistent Necromancy in Arena, and even if you do, you cannot use it consistently, because you will, lack early game, lack early shadow generation, you will break with late game, then in late game you will only draw your early minions, you will spend your Necromancy accidentally by playing the smaller minions, and you cannot get, the Necromancy to the bigger value pool. And yeah, and this card fits it perfectly, because you will have 12 shadows very often, and this is simply a card that kills your entire opponent board and leaves a 5-6 for you. This is a mini Bahamut sometimes.
Yeah, and also to point out, I don't think it's going to be the best Shadow Legendary in Arena. I think the order goes Mordecai, Olivia, then this guy.
Mordecai is kind of gold.
Yeah, true. Okay, so Legendary-wise, I think this is the second best. Olivia, then him. But for top cards in Arena, at least that you get to choose only through that method, through the first and last 2 picks, this guy's up there. He's really good. I think you have no reason not to play him. He's great. I mean, even if you don't get a zombie off him, right, he still gives you
5-6.
Yeah, he still. No, I mean, he also gives you the plus. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah,
does it say?
He actually does.
Yeah. Does he still give you? I mean, my question is, I'm not sure because that wording's still kind of awkward. I'm not sure if you have to use the Necromancy 3 for the +2, but if not, then that's still fine.
No, I don't think he needs to use the Necromancy.
Yeah, if that's the case, we'll have to see when the card comes out, but if that's the case, this card alone is still great. I mean, you can still run it in, mid-rangey aggro shadows. Instead of running Curse General, you could run this.
Curse General?
The 7-mana 5/4, deal 4 for 4 Necromancy.
Oh, the Curse Soldier.
Yeah.
I think it's the Curse General, I believe, is that sword card that gives Storm to your officers.
Yeah, but the Shadowcraft one is Cursed Soldier. It's that little skeleton guy with the spear.
Yeah, the sight.
Yeah. Sorry, sight.
Anyway,
Shadow Grim.
Yeah, we think this card is really good and will definitely see play. So if you open it, you can hope you open animated, because that additional swag, and don't disenchant this card ever. Even if you don't play Shadow, you may one day play it, and this will probably stick around in any meta.
Yeah, this possibly could be a meta-defining card. It's very powerful. It can make a lot of the Shadow decks that people just think are good, like mid-range Shadow right now. It's good, but it's just missing that one touch. Maybe this is that one touch.
Yeah, we definitely hope so, because I really like his sword.
I like his horse.
And the last card we have today is the Heavenly Aegis. So it's a 9-mana 8/8 that cannot be damaged and cannot be affected by other cards' abilities except for those that change this card's attack and defense. So to explain things quickly, you cannot give it word with the Guardian Sun. If you cast the Power Word Protection or something like that, the Holy Word of Protection, something like that, the 3-mana spell that gives +1/+2 and word, this will gain only +1/+2, it will not gain word. You can cast Valhalla General on this. This will not get rush, but it will get stats. And yeah, that's basically it. So I know Red loves this card, so I will let you begin here.
Oh, this card's gonna be the meta defining. You guys were asking, what's the Daria of this expansion? You met him. This guy's insane. This is gonna make the mid-range list for Haven that have been sticking around, that some play Storm. Yeah, you cut those. You cut the Pinion Prayers, and you just play like you play defensively. You know, you want to curve out, get out your amulets, and then you want to play some. You know, have your Garudas, have your Themises in this, and you kind of play like that, and then you plop this guy down on 9. Think of him as a Mordecai who went to the gym for a while. That's what this guy is. You know, he's a Mordecai who came back, worked out, and was like, Odin's? What are you on about? Bahamut? Whatever. This is what this guy is. You can't. I'm not sure if you can Erd him. Some people have been saying you may be able to Erd him because he won't die, but he'll come back. I don't know.
No,
we'll have to test that.
It's not affected by cards effects. I don't think you can Erd it.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people have been talking about that. We'll have to see. It's one of those things like it's weird. It's weird. We don't know until we can test it in the game.
Yeah, it depends on
either
the
way,
coding, because it can be coded that it's come back to life as its own effect, or it can be coded that it comes back to life from the Erd effect. Like if those two like kill the unit and resummon it are two separate effects, then it may work. But I think it would be stupid of Cygames to code it like that.
Exactly. We'll just have to see what happens. But either way, this guy is insane. And once you plop him down, he's a better win condition than Seraph. Because you can't touch him. You plop him down, he's there until the game's decided. And that's what's important. And I think this guy is going to make it. Because, like I said, a lot of these cards are really pushing towards a mid-rangey meta.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more combo decks pop up to beat this guy. Because he's really powerful. So I think he's going to be a meta-defining card, and I think it's going to finally give Haven, that pure Tier 1 deck. You know, that deck that doesn't really have a 100%, you play this, it's done, you kill their win condition, like Seraph and, G-Sun, we see that all the time. But it's going to be weak still to combo decks like PTP, D-Shift, and possibly the Azazel combo blood that will pop up. But it will be really good against all the other decks in the format, which, obviously is going to be like mid-range Shadow and aggro blood. Stuff like that, you can just curve out well and just kind of play it like how, Daria, Think of it as it's a later Daria. It's balanced, it's fine, I love this card, it's amazing, and I can't wait to play 3 of it in Haven.
Yes, and one thing I wanted to say, but I think I forgot already. That's awkward.
Good.
I remember. Yeah, the Heaven is really good at playing against aggro. You don't have to go mid-range, you can go full control with this card. So, yeah, you are basically only weak to combo decks like D-Shift or maybe some Roach shenanigans. But yeah.
But what Haven deck isn't, right?
Yeah, but I think that the only card that could make this guy like worse a bit is if we get introduced a card like change an attack of a minion to 1. And there is a problem with a card like that, because if you give it to an aggro deck, it will just use it on wards, it will use it on powerful minions just to ignore them and go face. So this may be a bit too powerful tool for aggro decks. So you have to give it to a class that is not really well suited for aggro playstyle. Or make this card really expensive like Odin wise. Right, so it could be like Odin statline, like 8 mana, maybe 4/4 or something like that. Or 7 mana 4/3, something like that. And then you make it probably not neutral, because if you make it at 7 mana or 8 mana, mid-range decks will still play it. So we have to give it to a class, and you probably give it to Dragon, I would say. I would say Dragon, or I don't think we can give it to Runecraft, because Runecraft already have a way to deal with Heavenly Ages.
And that's D-Shift.
Yeah. So you probably give it to Dragon, as the Dragon has the worst matchup. Unless you give Dragon some aggro potential.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of room for it. It's going to be interesting. One way that a lot of people have been thinking about dealing with this thing is, instead of obviously if this becomes a meta-defining card, we're just going to see a lot more D-Shift and PTP. I mean, regardless, those decks are staying no matter how the meta changes, unless it's completely aggro. Even then, PTP survives because of Force Beast. But a lot of people have been talking about I really love PTP, and one thing that people have been talking about is running Forest of Dreams, the 2-mana amulet that's randomly picks an enemy and it can't attack next turn.
Yeah.
So people have been thinking about that because that works. Entangled Vines, stuff like that. You can target this and you can slow it down just enough, to where you can get that extra
really,
turn.
Because I don't think Forest of Dreams will work on Heavenly Ages.
Oh, we're talking about like the other cards, because when you play this card, they're going to play it with amulets and stuff, and you need to... You can't deal with this card, so the only way is to slow down the other stuff and just try to get that room. Because 8 damage is a lot, but all you can do is like Forest of Dreams, slow down the other stuff on board, and that's a 2-mana amulet, so you can fit in a lot of other things. The idea is just play stuff that's going to slow down everything else while you just try to get to your combo.
Oh, I have actually a question. Like, how do you think, speaking about Forest of Dreams, can this actually target the Heavenly Ages? Because it say cannot be affected, so I guess it can be targeted. So Forest of Dream is not that good of a counter to this, because it can actually target the Heavenly Ages and take no effect.
Yeah, that's true. But also there's Entangling Vines.
I mean, Entangling Vines work only on your turn. On the opponent, the attack.
Wait, does it?
Normal.
Let me check. Actually, to be honest, I can't remember.
I played that in my Rose Queen.
Really?
Yeah. It's
well,
only for
there goes all those ideas out of the table. Just gotta PTP fast, right?
Or Roach them. Or Bolt.
Yeah, you're right.
You can also out-heal it for a while, but you cannot really out-heal it, because all the consecutive healing comes from minions like Unica and Lucifer, and this card can roll over them very quickly.
Yeah. This is, it's weird. It's a difficult card to deal with. The only way to deal with it is to win before it happens or right after it happens.
Yeah, so that's pretty much normal. It's
kind
of meta in side games. I mean the Shadowverse, to be exact, because the Shadowverse is designed to be a mobile game, and we have to remember that. And in mobile game, you cannot have like these fatigue matches that last for half an hour, because this is not the meaning of mobile games, right? You want to be mobile with them. You want to play them on the bus or in the car when you are in the traffic. I don't know. Don't do that, by the way. I don't encourage that behavior. But
he had a bad experience with it once.
But in the bus you can definitely play Shadowverse. Just stay aware of your surrounding, and so this is why decks like this exist. This is why D-Shift exists. This is why PTP is a card, just to limit the time of the games. You cannot go on forever. So this is basically one more of this type of cards, and yeah, it's definitely justified being in this game, even if it looks powerful, because it's 8/8 for 9 mana. This is the same stat line as Atomy, but you have in Heaven answers to Atomy, and Shadow doesn't have answer to your Heavenly Ages.
Yeah, pretty much once this card's played down, the game's decided, It's not immediate, but it has to be finished. The game's going to be finished in the next 2-3 turns tops.
Yeah, alright. So I think we have come to an end. This is the last card we are talking about in this episode. If you want to check out the previous episode, you can find it on my channel. And yeah, also make sure to check out the Red media that I will link in the description below. So it's been Red and Roxas. Any last words, Red?
Yeah, just make sure to tell us your opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think about these cards? Do you think anyone we underestimate? And if you say Fairy Cage, I'm going to make sure Roxas deletes your comment because you're a memer. But no, seriously, follow me on Twitter. Hopefully he links me down below. I'll pass you my Twitter, bro. Yeah. What card do you think is the best out of the ones that we talked about today? And love to hear your comments. I'll read them. I'll check it out. And see you guys around.
See you, everyone. Peace out.